Hey guys, what's up? Nico again here. And in this episode, I have with us Cora, who runs another Etsy shop. And we're going to talk about how she got started, her background, so on and so forth. And again, all the links in this episode is going to be in the description below if you're watching on YouTube. And if you're on your favorite podcast player, it's going to be in the show notes. Make sure you guys stay till the very, very end where I give you your own business idea using your 3D printer and maybe some bonus content while Cora and I just kind of chit chat. All right. So let's get started. Cora, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. So let's get started here from the very, very, very beginning. What's your background? What do you do?
So I'm mostly an artist. I like painting things. I like, fine arts, acrylic paint, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And my dad kind of introduced me to 3D printing when I was maybe 15, probably, and I'm 20 now. So we kind of started with that stuff, he used to teach me things, and then kind of finally started my Etsy shop when I was 18 and started with 3D printing stuff. So
that's awesome. Yeah. So do you have any engineering background at all, any 3D printing background, or just straight up art? Because I've seen your paintings and they're quite cute.
Thank you. I have like no engineering background. I kind of just started messing with 3D printers. And my dad kind of taught me how to use them. So no like other engineering stuff, kind of just messing around with them, learning how they work, learning how to fix stuff when the stuff goes wrong. Yeah.
Did you feel that did you feel like it was difficult for you to learn, or was it kind of like, oh, this is pretty simple?
I think it seemed pretty simple to me. It helped that my dad already knew like what he was doing. Okay. And it's definitely easy to get frustrated when stuff goes wrong and you're like just taking apart the printer over and over and over again. The same thing happens after you just fixed it. Yes. So it's pretty simple to learn, but frustrating to keep doing over and over again.
I agree, especially if it's like a clogged nozzle. It's something really simple and you're like, oh my God, this sucks.
Yes.
And so let's start diving into the business side here a little bit. How much are you making for your business? And it is a side hustle, correct?
Yeah. It's kind of like a part-time job type thing. That's how I say it. Sometimes it ends up being a full-time job depending on how many orders I have.
Yeah.
But last year I was probably making around $1,500 to $2,500 a month.
That is pretty significant.
Yeah. That's
a mortgage payment.
Yes.
That's a California mortgage payment. Ask me how I know.
So I think that was all profit. So it was like what, $3,000, $3,500 a month in revenue, everything gross, which ended up being about $18K profit last year. And this year has definitely been a bit slower. I'm like trying to combat with that, but it's still about like $1,000 to $1,500 a month, which is definitely a lot less than last year. But I feel like it's kind of like the world economic state is kind of wonky right now. People aren't buying things they don't need, but still getting lots of orders, still getting a good amount of money. That's pretty constant. So
that's awesome. I mean, $1,000 a month, $1,000 to $1,500 a month. That's nothing to scoff at. And in some areas still of the United States, that's a mortgage payment, right? I mean, not here in California. You'll get a toilet for that amount, but but that's still pretty darn good. So congratulations.
Thank you.
So how do you come up with the idea for your shop?
So we sell like the fidget toys and like 3D printed fidget toys. You see them all over the place. But the first thing I have it here, the first thing we started with was this little slug.
That slug.
Which is super popular. People love these things. Not our design, but we kind of just started exploring Etsy for more ideas like that. And I didn't want to use other people's models anymore. So I was like, we can do this ourselves. And my dad uses SolidWorks to do like all the links and everything. And then I use ZBrush and Nomad on my iPad for like the more artistic side.
Because you're the artist, right?
Yeah. Yep. And then I do the sketches. I'll send them to him. He starts something and then he sends it back to me and I do all the artistic part of it.
That's so awesome. I love that.
Yeah.
I try to do that with my kids, but they just want to play on their iPad. So they're like, Dad, go away.
Yeah.
But that's really cool that you work with your dad. So your dad does some of your designs.
Yes. He helps me a lot
Awesome.
with that. Just because the SolidWorks is more like an engineering thing. I use more of the artistic 3D stuff, which
Right.
can't always do like the fine things like these little links. Like I don't think I can do that on an artistic program and have it be perfect. So
you can do it in Blender, but
yeah.
But that's really cool. So your dad uses SolidWorks and you use Nomad and ZBrush.
Yes.
Nomad on the iPad, ZBrush
yes.
on the computer. Do you use a tablet?
Actually, I just started using my mouse for the
no kidding.
my computer, just because I found it to be easier.
Seriously?
Yes. I had a tablet and I didn't like the way like the interface was working, so I just used my mouse.
Wow, that's impressive because I can't use a mouse when I'm sculpting. Like, there's no way.
Yeah,
that's very impressive.
That's eventually why I got Nomad, just because I have the Apple Pen and it's like amazing for stuff like that. So
awesome. So how do you guys figure out what new products to sell?
Normally, I will look up on Etsy. We do a lot of the animal fidgets, like different animals, cats, octopus, axolotls, and I'll look on Etsy to see what there isn't yet, like what animal there isn't on there. Like I looked on there and there wasn't a lot of little bees. So I made a bee thing, and it's obviously more popular because that's the only one there is. Like there's no other bee fidgets. There probably is now, but when we first made it, it was the only one on there. It's just good to sometimes do something new because people are looking for other new things. You don't want the same thing over and over and over again. So
that's awesome. And with 3D printing, you can really do that, right?
Yes.
Anything you imagine. Oh yeah, I can design that. And you design it and send it to Dad for the links and so on and so forth, and send it back to you for the details, and then poof.
Yep.
That's awesome. So you don't really have to be stuck with the current files.
Yes.
It's out there. You got to put your imagination to work a little bit. And once you do, get it designed.
Yep, exactly.
So how much time do you guys spend on developing new products?
We take a while making new products. And, I feel like we got them to go pretty streamlined, to go pretty fast because we've learned how to do it pretty quickly. I usually do a sketch, send it to him. He makes all that stuff. And then we definitely spend more time making new things because than working on older stuff, just because we make sure everything's like perfect, won't break easily, because kids use these. So it's like won't break easily, easy to print, no support, stuff like that, because we just want everything to be like really fast. So I don't put anything out until it's like perfect.
Perfect and tested. Gotcha.
Yes. Yep.
All right. So you opened your shop. All right. You have all these items. How'd you get started in it? What was your first item? How'd you get your first clients?
I think my first items were not 3D printed. They were just canvas paintings, which is a little harder on Etsy because you only make one of them unless you like scan them and make prints, which I didn't. But they just weren't like trending. So I wasn't getting a ton of sales. I was probably on Etsy for 6 months before I got any sales. And I think the first fidget I tried was a little octopus, and those started getting popular. And someone messaged me and was like, you should make these slugs because they're super popular on TikTok. And I was like, I wasn't even on TikTok. And I was like, okay, I'll just, I'll just hop on the trend. I don't usually do that type of stuff, but it's easy to hop on a trend to get you started. And then people have already viewed your shop, and then you can make new things that aren't trending, and then they'll end up getting views anyways. So that's the fidgets. The first fidgets were the octopus and the slug, and then we started making our own from there, and it just kept going.
Gotcha. So Etsy basically just picked up your shop from the algorithm and just they took it off from there, huh?
Yes, they liked what I posted at some point, and everyone started buying stuff like crazy.
Awesome. And so what happened after that? You just started adding more and more items?
Yeah, we were just like, we got to keep going with this. We got to keep making new things, making new options and sizes and colors and all this other stuff, just so that people are still coming to our shop and still getting views, turning those views into sales. So we just kept going with the same thing just because it was working.
Yeah, why try to fix what isn't broken, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's smart. So you
Yeah.
said that you opened up your shop in 2020,
Yes. Yep.
mid-pandemic. So how did that go?
Yep.
What made you decide that?
Um, that was a long time ago. I think just like wanting to sell my art. That was like, I've always, like I said, I've always been an artist, wanting to sell my art somewhere and just get started. Like, even if nobody buys it, I'm going to start and see where we're going. So that's kind of just what I did. Like I said, I just posted my paintings. I did the paintings for fun and then just sold them. And then it ended up 3D printing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So how many machines, what was your first machine? What was the first machine that you used and what are you using now?
Our first machine was a Maker Gear, which we still have. I think we only had 2 at that point, maybe, and now we have 4 Maker Gears and 2 Prusa Minis, which is our favorite now. The Prusa Minis are amazing. They work so well. We have a Lulzbot and then an Anycubic photon resin printer. So we have a good amount of printers in our basement. But my favorite is definitely the Prusa.
Gotcha. So you have a Maker Gears, Prusas, Lulzbot, and so you got a pretty good print farm there, lady.
Yes, we do.
That's pretty cool. So what are you guys printing in resin?
We make, my dad sometimes takes custom orders, which doesn't have to do with me, but for like gaming things like D&D, little figures,
Miniatures.
or
Okay.
yeah, yes, like miniatures, like 4K, or 40K, I mean, and stuff like that. And then we also, all the tiny ones we have are in resin.
That is super cute.
Yes, thank you. We do a ton of tiny ones.
So do you paint the whiskers and all that stuff yourself?
Yeah, I do. We have like,
those are hand painted.
Yep. The
Wow.
tiniest little brush. It takes forever, even for the tiniest thing.
So do you charge for that time? Please tell me you charge for that.
Yes.
Good.
Luckily, I've like also gotten it better done to like streamline and being able to paint them better. And buying like new paintbrushes just so they're like very fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, like,
I have to go to an actual paint store to get my brushes as well. So you have your resin machines, you have your FDM machines. What filament are you using?
I use mostly just PLA. It works the best.
And what brand?
Us. We use a lot of Polymaker, Arione, Overture, and honestly, whatever is on sale on Amazon. Because if another color is on sale and it's one of the brands I like, I'll buy that one over another one. And luckily, if it doesn't work, you can send it back to Amazon even after you used it. So.
And what brand resin are you guys using?
Don't know the answer to that one. Sorry about that. We use
it's all good.
Brands and inks and all this stuff, and now I don't know that answer.
That's okay. I use a Soraya Tech myself.
Okay.
The Soraya Tech Fast Gray. Sweet. So what struggles did you guys have when you first started this whole thing?
I think I mostly struggled with keeping going even when nobody was looking at my store, because
the first 6 months,
so hard. Yeah. It was just like, I don't want to make any new things if nobody's looking at my stuff now. But then you got to figure, like, if you stop here and you have no sales, then you never ever got a sale. But if you keep going, you still have that chance to get a sale, and to, even if it's steady, you don't have to like go viral and like get a huge influx of orders. It's like, if it's a steady, like you got to be grateful for that. And like, my friends definitely helped me with that, like just building me up, and my parents like just telling me to keep going.
That's a good point to have. No one's ever said anything about that. Is having a good support base.
Yes.
Having people to pick you up and keep you going when you yourself can't do it. So that's a good tip there. So how else does the business make money?
I've been
aside from Etsy.
I've been dabbling in selling some of my files. So,
all right.
Yeah. So I sell them on Cults 3D, and then I'm working on a Patreon so that people can have like a commercial license to sell them elsewhere. Not the files, just the prints. So they would get like a bunch of files, some cool stuff, and also the ability to sell them with my permission, as long as they're a patron. So
That's awesome. And we'll be sure to link your Patreon and your cults so they can buy your files as well.
thank you.
Now, going back to your Etsy page here and your business, what profit margin are you looking to target when you sell your prints?
So I don't really have a target. I do know what we do have. It's about 70% with just the Etsy things, which
70?
includes, yeah,
Nice. That's
yeah,
good.
yeah, which includes like it takes away whatever you paid in shipping or what people paid in shipping and like all their fees and whatever. And then if you count in like shipping, supplies, and filament, it's probably 65% profit margin with that. So
Nice. Those are
yeah,
pretty healthy margins.
yep.
So have you tried to increase sales with other options like Etsy ads, anything like that?
I haven't done Etsy ads yet. I haven't needed to, at least I don't feel like it.
That's great news.
Yeah. And then sometimes I was kind of thinking about it, like sometimes I see an ad on Etsy for somebody else's thing, and like it's a handmade thing. But then you see that ad on Etsy thing, and I don't know, it just makes me not always want to buy it because it says it's an ad and not just like it came up because it's popular. So I just haven't messed with that. But I do offer like free shipping for bigger orders, which helps because you can tell like when someone adds that one more thing to get free shipping, but then you get more money and then they get free shipping.
It's a
So
win for everybody.
yeah. Yeah.
Awesome. Great.
Yeah.
Smart girl. So do you have your own website too, or just primarily Etsy and cults?
Just Etsy and cults. I haven't done my own website just because Etsy helps so much with getting traction and getting views. If I were to ever have my own website, I definitely have Etsy and my own website just because I feel like if I just started my own website, I wouldn't get enough views and people coming through. Gotcha. Unless I used ads or something like that.
All right. So let's talk about your files for a second. And how many files do you have now? When did that start?
Oh, I think I have about 5 posted, but I have like over 30 files like that I have to post. Because I kind of just
you can sell your files on Etsy as well, right?
Yeah. I don't know why I wouldn't sell them on Etsy. I guess I didn't want to clog up my thing. Because I do like having like a niche, like you just have like this, just the physical things. And I felt like cults people were looking for files. Gotcha. Instead of everything on Etsy.
It's the search intent that you're looking at.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very smart. Very smart. So what's working today in terms of marketing? What's bringing in people to either cults or your Etsy?
I think definitely like Instagram Reels, TikTok, YouTube, those short little videos that people see. It keeps their attention for just long enough, and people are obsessed with those. So definitely like just showing your product, even without a song. Like I usually just play with the product because it makes a nice sound anyways. And just show it on a Instagram Reel that's 15 seconds long. And then you can tell on Etsy, you get more clicks from Instagram because it keeps track of that. So whenever you post a video or a picture, I can tell that people came from Instagram that day whenever I posted something. So I think definitely like little short videos are working a lot more than just posts.
Okay. So on these videos, do you like you do anything special with them, or do you just kind of make it look as unprofessional as possible because you're just playing with it, right? You're not like professionally editing these where there's cut here, special effects there. You're just like, hey, check out this slug.
Yeah, just playing with it. There's certain ones that I do like the trends with the songs, and there's a few cutting and editing things. But I found that sometimes just playing with them is more popular. Like they get more views. I'm not sure why Instagram dislikes them. Which
TikTok
helps,
does though. I heard the TikTok loves those.
Yes. It's like whatever you find that's working for you on social media, just keep doing that.
Maybe try new things. Stick with it, right?
Yes. And obviously like try new things. And if it flops, then either try it again or just like find a new idea. Because
the point is keep trying.
Yes, keep trying. Yes.
Yes. So that's it for all my questions. What's next for you? What is the future for Coral Reef. I love that name, by the way.
Thank you. I think, like I said, the Patreon and the Calls 3D, just because that's like self-sustainable. I don't have to ship things. I don't have to find out what kind of box to put in. I don't have to pay for shipping. It's just people like finding my files and downloading them. I think that's like my next step right now, just to have some extra income from people wanting the files.
Digital assets are I believe, where everything's going. That's,
Yeah.
I mean, you know, that's what I do. That's what Nico Industries is. So, all right, Cora, thank you so much for being here. That was amazing. I'm very impressed with how you handle yourself and how smart you are with business naturally.
Thank you.
Let's wrap it up with your number one tip for anyone who wants to start their own 3D printing business.
I think my number one tip is just start. Like, you don't have to have a huge amount of stock. You don't have to have a ton of money. Just start, like, and just go with it. And if it's not getting views, just keep making new stuff. Like, just keep putting new stuff out there, try new things. Definitely look at other people's things and look to other people for input. Like, you always want other people to look at your posts to see, like, hey, does this actually look good or not? But just keep going.
Awesome. So again, Cora, thank you so much for being here. Now, I told you guys, if you stay to the very end, I'll give you guys your own 3D printing business, right? So here it is. Today's idea is just like the last episode, I think episode 16, right? If I'm not mistaken, is doing your own print service. Look, you guys, you don't have to have your own files. You don't have to go out and scour everything. The fact that you have a 3D printer makes you 100 times cooler. Cora, am I right?
Yes.
Look, so if you have a 3D printer, you can have a service. And the way you market that is you basically just go out and say, and start printing stuff and say, look, this is 3D printed. And if people start asking you, hey, can you make this? Can you make that? Can you make this? Can you make that? It happens all the time. All you got to do is talk about that you have a 3D printer. Trust me, they're going to ask you, right or wrong.
Yep, definitely.
Everyone asks. It's so crazy.
Yep.
So a print service is a business idea. If you guys need help starting, growing, and scaling your own 3D printing business, link is down below. Email me. We'll help you guys out. All right. Again, Cora, thank you so much for being here. That was great information.
Thank you so much.
Really, really appreciate it. And we'll catch you next time for a Where Are They Now episode. Bonus content. Can you show me some of the stuff that you painted? Those are so adorable.
The flexis that I painted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you like these?
So,
what paint are you using?
Just acrylic paint. It's called just Basics acrylic paint. That's the brand. So I have a tiny little crab.
Those are way too cute. I bet those sell like hotcakes.
I haven't posted these yet, but I think they will sell very well once I do post them.
I think so too.
Yeah. We have
the ladybugs.
Ladybug.
So you pretty much niche in cute bugs.
Yes. I do like the cute bugs. They're really fun.
No wasps though. Those are assholes.
Yeah, just the bees. They're
bees,
nice.
Ladybugs. Ants.
Yep. And then I showed you earlier the little mouse that I have.
A little mouse. See, it doesn't have to be bugs. It just have to be something cute.
Yes. See, it's nice because like with Etsy, like you can have different options. Like I have this little mouse and then I have a tiny mouse.
Okay, so how do you price that?
So these ones are like, I think to print 6 of these on a resin printer, it's $3, like in resin. So
oh wow.
Yeah.
So it's 50 cents for one.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So these ones, they take like 10 minutes to paint, which seems like a lot because it's tiny, but really it's not that much of my time, especially if I'm doing a ton at a time. So the small ones are about $2.50. I might be raising the prices just because they've gotten really popular. And
I think $3 or $4 would be good.
Yeah.
Are you pricing in the alcohol to clean it?
I have not. I haven't thought about that. Yeah.
Price in. You got to price in everything that comes in. You got to price in the alcohol that you're using to clean it up and the paint.
Yes, the paint luckily is like.
I mean, it's so hard to measure and quantify how much paint is going on there.
I know.
But you have to.
Yeah.
You know, just say 10 cents of paint.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
That's a good idea.
Yep. That's great. And so
We're
how
working
long have
on
you and your dad been working together? This is, I think that's so adorable. I wish my kids would do that with me.
probably, like I said, 15 when I started printing, so probably 5 years. We've done
That's
some like,
so freaking cool.
yeah, he's definitely like, he's the only reason I've been able to do any of this
So
stuff.
is your dad an engineer?
Kind of. It's like, sorry, I say that. He didn't like go to college for engineering. He's pretty much self-taught because he's really good at self-teaching himself for whatever he does. But his job does deal with SolidWorks. So I guess you could call him an engineer.
I mean, architecture. I think architects use SolidWorks as well.
Yeah. They work at like a metal working place, and he makes like parts for metal and stuff like that. And that's why he learned.
Okay. So he's in manufacturing.
Yes, that's
Then he's gonna use stuff like that.
Yeah. He's just not like a licensed engineer or whatever, but he is an engineer. I call him that. He's good at that part of everything.
That is really cool. And so what are you doing now for yourself as a day job?
I am a nanny. I work with twins 3 days a week. And then whenever I'm home, I'm either cleaning or I'm packaging and painting Etsy things.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really, really cool. I love that. I really, really love it. That's a great story.